Hello everyone, I'm Alex, the Blind Soap Maker, and welcome to my soap making workshop. So you will be getting in an environmentally friendly box such as this one, for example, 250 grams of soap. You will be getting 2 of my most popular fragrances, 2 beautiful natural colorants, mica colorants. You will be getting 2 of these beautiful 50-gram soap molds that are silicone. Now, we use the silicone deliberately because it's easier to push the soap out once it has hardened. When you get really good, you can also make soap and mold it in all sorts of different shaped molds, such as these rose shaped molds or these snowflake molds. Now, it's really important to know that every single thing that you get in this box has been health and safety certified. You can find the certification on our website. Inside the box, we have also provided you with some instructions. These are always useful when you need to refer back to them. In order to make your soap, you will need a microwave. You will also need a set of scales. We have provided you with 2 molds for your melt and pour soap. They are about 55 grams. So we need you to measure about 125 grams in order to make sure that you have enough product. This is because we tend to lose about 10 grams of the product in the heat exchange. In order to make your soap, you will need a plastic jug. You can use a glass one, but you will lose more soap due to the conductive nature of glass as a material. This is why we tend to use a silicone spoon or a plastic spoon. Please do not use metal. I used metal the first time round, and what happened was, because metal is a conductor, it conducted the cold of the metal spoon into my soap, and it made my soap harden, so I couldn't actually pour it out. So it really is important to avoid conductive materials in the soap making process. You will also need some cling film. Now, I use cling film and I put it over my jug before I heat my soap up, just as shown here. Now, these aren't necessary, but I use them because it helps to keep my soap nice and toasty for when I'm adding fragrances. I use this non-conductive plastic chopping board, and I use this car cushion. And then I put my jug nice and snug inside the car cushion in order to keep it warm. So let's begin making our soap. To start with, you will need to measure about 120 grams, which is enough for these 2 molds. As you can see, I have already pre-done it like on Blue Pizza. The next step is to take an ordinary table knife and start cutting it up into smaller pieces. Now, the thing is that you can just you can just melt this soap as is without cutting it up. But By cutting it up, we are increasing the surface. And as a result, we are able to melt the soap a lot quicker than we would have done previously. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, I normally get help with this part. This is the soap nicely, fully cut up. The pieces need to be about this big, if those who can see that. And then I'm going to put it back in the jug. Now, I then add my mica. Hi, I'm really sorry, I'm a bit embarrassed. Whilst I'd been editing, I had accidentally deleted the video that I wanted, which explained why I put the mica in at this point. Now you see, when we heat up the soap, the mica is automatically dispersed more evenly within the soap because it just kind of slowly drops in as the soap melts. So that's why we put the mica in at this point. Let's carry on. So now let's melt our soap in our microwave. Few words of warning. This is a heating process. And when you're working with kids, we all know what they're like when it takes patience. The key to good quality soap is to melt it at its lowest point. Now remember, the first 2 minutes are not going to make all of the soap melt, okay? So if I take it out and I find that it hasn't fully melted and the jug is an okay temperature, a safe temperature, I just pop it back in so that it can melt some more and the heat can dissipate throughout the soap. If the jug is a little bit too hot, what I do is I tend to put it into this car cushion. And in that way, it keeps it nice and snug and toasty so that the heat can spread throughout the soap and melt it fully, okay? So, here we go. Okay, so I know that everybody is focused on getting their soap poured, but please, I've done this before, do not forget to put in your fragrance. And when I've done that, I tend to spray my 2 moulds and my soap with this surgical spirit. And the reason why I do that, it's not necessary, which is why it's not in your package, but the reason why I do that is to just take the bubbles out of the soap. And when has a bubble ever hurt anybody? Surgical spirits 100% evaporates away from your finished product, so you do not need to worry. So I've added my fragrance, I've stirred my fragrance with my silicone spoon, and now my mum is going to do the pouring, because obviously as a blind person, it's not my greatest talent. Now it's important to remember that when you pour, don't pour it right up to the top, just so that it's got enough room to kind of rise into the top. I've sprayed the surgical spirit on top to get rid of the bubbles, as you can see, and now all we have to do is to wait for them to harden. So I have waited 20 minutes for this soap to harden. I know that you can't see me, but that you can see the product, and that is my main aim. I want you to see us taking out our soap from the mould. If you're not sure if it's fully hard, what you can do is you can feel the temperature through your hands by putting your hand over the soap, or you can just tap it gently with your finger. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to gently push my soap out, which is why we have silicone. So there is one beautiful cherry berry soap. Isn't that looking gorgeous? That is one handmade cherry berry soap. And that's what the cherry berry looks like. And this one is what the clementine jelly handmade soap will look like. These are my two most popular soaps. But if you want to have a look at what other products I make, then feel free to look at my website, which is www.theblindsoapmaker.co.uk. And if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me through the website. It has been lovely making soap with you, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. Bye!